Have you found yourself dealing with employees who don't follow any instructions, barely do the minimum, or worse still, create disruptions through things like gossiping? In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to deal with that. Hello, my name's Jennifer. I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we're a HR consultancy that will protect your business, train your business, and help you grow your business. So let's dive right in. Let's start with some truth. If you've got employees like this and you're waiting for them to change, it's not going to happen. The change comes from you. The good news is because the change comes from you, you can make the changes and deal with the challenges and improve your team. Because what you will find is once you've got one person like this, it's catching. Others start to say, well, if they can get away with the bare minimum, then I might as well get away with the bare minimum too. So you do need to get this tackled to make sure it doesn't infiltrate and become a real problem within your business. How are we going to do that? We're going to start by talking to people, by having open communication. And by communication, of course, we don't just mean talking, we also mean listening. Getting to know your team. There is another truth here. Your team will not feel the same about your business as you do. It's different for them. Their priorities are different. Their motivations are different. It isn't bad. It's always going to be the case. It's not their business. What we need to do is understand their priorities, their motivations. Hopefully we can get them to match so that we can achieve the goals that you need for the business, but also help them to achieve their priorities and their goals and to make sure that they're motivated. So if we get to know our teams, if we get to understand what it is they're looking for, and this starts right from the recruitment process to make sure that we've got people that align with our values, where we are going to be able to motivate them and get them working in the way that we need them to be. This is really crucial to having a positive work environment and a positive culture where people will do their best. Because I genuinely believe that most people want to do their best. They want to work hard. They want to produce things that make them feel good. There are a few exceptions to this, but not very many, and I'll tell you at the end exactly how to deal with those exceptions. But this is our starting point, is to get the open communication, to find out about them, to learn about their motivations, and to make sure that they fully understand how their role fits within the business. Often people don't understand the importance of their role, why their role is so essential to the success of the company. And if you can't describe that, if you can't tell them that, ask yourself the first question: should we be employing them? Is this a wage we should be paying out if it doesn't contribute to the overall goals? If you're certain you need to be paying it, then it contributes to your goals. So how do you describe that? Make sure you can describe that to people. You also need to set clear expectations. SMART goals, I think, are really important. I think they are still relevant. I've got other videos on this. Go and check them out for more details. But make sure we're really clear on what the expectations are. Make sure we're really specific, that they can be measured, that people know that the expectation is that this will be produced by this time, and if it's not, there's going to be consequences to that, and what those consequences are. Make sure that that's a fair line as well, so everybody knows exactly what's going to happen if they cross it. Make sure that people have got the tools, the resources, and that they understand the relevance to what they're doing. If they think they're just pushing paper from one side of the desk to another and is no real point to the task, it's going to be really hard to motivate them. So that relevance, that understanding how this fits in the overall goal of the business is so important in terms of how we set expectations with people. And make sure we're clear. Just because we said it doesn't mean they understand it. So make sure we are really clear and that they do understand it. And then we talk about it in a way that they need us to. We communicate it in a way they need us to, whether that's in writing or talking it through with people. Make sure we're really clear about our expectations. Forgive the quick interruption to this video, and I will keep it really quick. If you've liked this video, found it useful, you can of course hit the subscribe button. But I also want to tell you about our digital courses. In our digital courses, I go into much more detail. The videos are very similar to these. It's me, it's on camera, but there's also downloads, there's sample forms, there's a few sample policies in there as well. All the things that you need to know. We've even got some coming where we've got live classes as well. So check out our digital courses. Details are on screen now and in the description below. Look forward to seeing you on one of our courses in the future, and in the meantime, I'll let you get back to the video. And then when our expectations aren't met, when there's those gaps, we need to talk again. What's going on? What's the causes? Don't just assume. It can be so easy to go in, point the finger and say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you should have done this by then. It's not helpful. It doesn't get to the root of the problem or explore how we can stop that happening again. So get in there and ask the questions. That report that I needed on my desk on Thursday in time for Friday morning's meeting, I didn't have it, and that made me look a bit silly in the meeting. Is there a reason why I didn't have that in time? Making sure that we're asking those questions, give them the opportunity, rather than just going straight in with an accusation, because it may well be that they say, well, actually, I was having trouble getting the information I needed from the other department, and we can then work with them on strategies to get that information, or step in and talk to the head of that department if we need to. But we need to get curious. Are there skills gaps? Are they using technology they don't really know how to use? Are we expecting them to have knowledge that they haven't got? Are they having to repeat tasks that actually could be automated? What's going on? What's the cause? Do we really understand the challenges that they're facing? This will do two things. One, it will give us the information we need. So if they haven't got the resources, if they haven't got the skills, we need to solve that. And secondly, it will make them feel heard and not accused, and mean that next time they're having a challenge, they're more likely to come to you before it's a problem, because they know that it's not going to be an accusation. They know they can talk through the challenge with you. We can also give them the problem solving skills to try and solve it themselves next time before it gets to this problem. So understanding the cause is really important to making sure that we avoid this happening over and over again. So often I hear managers come to me and say, well, this person just keeps doing this month after month, and they've never had this conversation. They've never tried to establish a cause or work out how to deal with it and solve it. Once we've got that cause, we can make a plan. We can work out what needs doing to get from where we are here to where the expectations are here. We can make sure the person knows what's expected of them, make sure that they do understand it and that we weren't mistaken at that point. We can make sure they've got the skills, the resources, the tools to be able to uplift that performance to get to those expectations. And we can provide them with any support that they need to do that. But that's really important as well, that we've made sure that we've got that plan so they know what's expected, and again that they know that the expectation is that next month that report will be on my desk on time. Just because we've talked through and I understood and I empathised and I gave you tools to work through doesn't mean that next month you can come with the same excuse. Because next month that's going to be an excuse. This month it may have been a reason. We can work through that. But if it just keeps repeating itself and nothing changes and no one's working on it, that becomes an excuse. And that's something that we do need to tackle. And that's where we get to the final point. If you've gone through all of that, if you're working through it, and with culture change, if you've got people who are disruptive employees at the moment, you've got people who are doing the bare minimum, it's going to be a lot of work on this. It's going to be a big change for them. And for some of them, they won't want to change. Some of them, actually, they liked working for you because they could do the bare minimum. I don't think there are that many people out there like that, and my experience tells me that that's the case, but there are a few of them. And that's a situation where we need to go to the disciplinary procedure or even to a dismissal. And there could be two reasons for this. One is conduct. So if somebody is spreading gossip or being disruptive, that's a conduct issue. They're choosing to behave that way, and that needs to be dealt with. If it's not stopped, it's going to cause more problems within your business. The disciplinary procedure is exactly what you need to be able to deal with that. And again, I've got more videos on disciplinary procedure. If you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have the skills, who perhaps ill health has affected how they can do the job, then it's going to be a capability issue. We're going to deal with it under performance processes. We're going to make sure that we give them as much support and things as we can. But it may still get to the point of a dismissal where we're dismissing them because they're just not capable of doing the role. Whether that's when they started we thought they'd be capable, or this is a long server and things have changed and now they're not capable, it's going to be the same thing that we could get to that dismissal. Again, there are processes to follow. See my other videos. In fact, I do recommend my training courses on disciplinary performance and my HR for non-HR managers, which is coming soon, because they will give you the exact tools and steps that you need to follow in order to manage these situations, and where you do need to get to a dismissal, how to get to a fair dismissal in the eyes of employment law to make sure you don't find yourself in an employment tribunal. So there we are, my steps for taking your slackers to superstars, making sure that you've got employees that are doing exactly what you need them to be doing when you need them to be doing it. For more hints and tips on management, do check out my other videos, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and don't forget my digital courses, which are a deep dive into exactly how to deal with these situations.